Hello and welcome again to Interconnectors. I am your host, Misak, and in this show, as you know, we explore social impact being made, or at least being tried and attempted by people in different fields and in different places on this earth. And you might be one of them, of course, if that's why you're here, to learn how and what others are up to. We'll begin with people in the spaces that I've been involved with, mainly tech, nonprofits, and media. But of course, we won't just stop there. We'll go beyond and have conversations with a lot more people. So whether today you're listening in here on radio here in Los Angeles or through one of the apps, podcast apps, I know we're getting the podcast is now available on a lot of these apps. And whether you're listening to us live or pre-recorded, however you're listening to us, I just wanted to thank you and also make you a promise, which I do in the beginning of each episode, that you will walk away with some insight that you can take and apply in your life and work and make your life or work more impactful and meaningful. So with that said, I also hope you enjoyed last week's episode where I spoke with a venture capital investor from Europe, one of the top firms in Europe, about how the space can be more inclusive to diverse founders. And I encourage you to give that a listen if you haven't yet. There are some gems, not in my words exactly, but in Paul's, that's for sure. He was the guest. So today, though, we're going to hear some words and thoughts from Atef, who is an artist, a singer who has an amazing voice and was on The Voice, the TV show, heard by over millions of people. I was trying to figure out what the number was. Is it 10 million or 20 million? But large audiences, and he has had his own CDs out, of course. And he's an accomplished artist, and he's going to share his thoughts about two topics with us today. One on what artists could be doing to be more impactful in society and the places that they live around and in. And secondly, his thoughts on immigration, as he is a Tunisian-French and has had to navigate with dual identities all his life, very much like myself. So I'm excited to hear about both of those topics, and I hope you are as well. And there are two songs that we're going to hear on this episode. The second one is about immigration, a family moving from Africa to France. And the first one is I Cant Breathe, which is his response after watching the tape of the death of George Floyd. And we're going to go ahead and start with that song and then get into the conversation and have a break with his second song and talk more. So thank you for listening in, and I hope you enjoyed this week's episode.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. My hands are cuffed and I'm down. You got my face on the ground. I can't breathe. Somebody help me, please. I'm not resisting at all, but I am black and I'm tall. I can't breathe. Officer, help me, please. You've got your badge, you don't care, as if your killing was fair. I can't breathe. Mama, just help me, please. I'm now releasing my soul, but still his knees in control. I can't breathe. My God, just help me, please. People remember my name. Now is a time for a change. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Can't breathe.
you've been thinking and reflecting about your role as an artist. And of course, that song is such a beautiful song. But you've been thinking also about other things, right? That artists at this time could be doing no matter which part of the world they're in. What were some of those things, for example?
Well, first one, obviously, is to write or choose to interpret meaningful songs. So that is one of the things that you can do to make a difference in this world. And look, in this life, we are here a short moment. Our life is a very short moment. And what you decided to put on this very short moment is what makes a difference. So in this very short moment called life, I want to put what I am. I think the role of an artist there could be there could be two different things that could be used by an artist. The one thing would be being a mirror to the society, and also could be a voice to speak up for someone who can't. You can be the voice of someone who can't talk to the many, and you as an artist can talk to the many and maybe touch the hearts. So that's why we are useful somehow. I love to go to a city where I know no one, because you know what? It's an appointment with who you are. This is a mirror, a city where you know no one. Your behavior, who you are, what comes out from you, will tell you exactly who you are. And I love this situation. In general, being a person who unites people. Then your art being a reflection of what you are, who you are. So your music will be designed to understand other people, to make them someone you can relate to, and you make the audience relate to you too. So it's a general friendly attitude towards everyone. And your art being your reflection, an emanation. I don't know if this word exists in English, but in French, émanation. So it comes from you. I take time in social medias to answer things that shock me, or just I'm not happy with. I just write. I don't go into, you're wrong, you're right, you're good, you're bad. It's not that. I just mention a hint of a slight thing that can touch the heart of someone who's saying random or are saying hateful things. Mm-hmm. And, the result is always good. I've tried it. You can check on my, Facebook or whatever social media. The last thing I do is I open my studio to young talents. From time to time, on a regular basis. And that is also something that, I don't believe that people are educated by what you say. They are educated by your, that's what I do with my children. It's not about what you say, it's how you behave, the example you give. Mm-hmm. So if you open your studio to young talents, then they will do it themselves later on. And that's what have been done to me.
Thank you. Those were some beautiful suggestions on how artists could be taking action in times of need and at all times. So thank you for that. And now let's shift the conversation a little bit to your own background and the concept of identity and immigration, things that we've talked about. So tell me, let's start by telling us a little bit about your background, and we can go from there.
My parents came to France back in the 50s, and they came from North Africa. It's Tunisia, it's this country, small country, and when they came, they landed in Marseille, which is gateway to Africa and, Europe towards the south, and even India towards Europe. That was gateway and a historical gateway to Africa and all the southern countries. And so when they landed in Marseille, they stayed a couple of years, and then they moved to another city next to it, which is Toulon, where I live now, and where I spent most of my life, even though I lived in London for a few years and traveled a lot, concerts everywhere. So, So they came back in the 50s, and I grew up in France as the son of immigrants. But saying that, if you say that, you said nothing about me. It's just a background. It's a color behind me.
Exactly. And now let's paint it. Let's paint it with who you are then.
Yeah.
That was just, what is that thing they put on canvas? It's called the first layer.
Exactly.
I can't think of the word, but
some people...
Primer. They called it primer.
Some people think that when they said that, they were defined. This is what this is why I'm stressing this point. I don't believe in the fact that you are defined by where you were born, and no, it's all about who you are, what you do, how you dealt with things. That defines you much more than what's your background.
Yes. So what has been your and respond you have to the world with your beautiful voice? What was basically the inspiration behind a lot of your work, which really explore the concepts of identity, immigration, who we are as human beings? It really goes deep down. What's kind of been the inspiration behind all of that?
I looked deep in my heart, and I tried to find the beauty my parents placed in it. And I tried to, and my friends and families and lovers, wife, children, all the gems in there, they don't belong to me. So I tried to to get them out and put them in songs. The issues we are facing with immigrants in the US, in Europe, is what place have we given them to be part of our society? So that is the main question. If you have immigrants and you make them live together in one single place, they will live as a community. They will not dilute in the society. They will live together, and they will do their things, and the opposition will probably be hard. And they will say us and them. If you say us and them, we and them, then it's all lost. It's us. It's not we and them. It's all us, So when I was a child, I loved my parents very much, and they would ask me, they were laughing, and they would ask me, "Are you French or Tunisian?" And I was a boy. I loved my parents, and I would say I am Tunisian because I loved them. But I grew up, and I was a teenager, and then they would ask me again, and I would say, I'm half-half. And being half-half is being nothing, because you don't know your background and you don't know where you live. So I decided to change that. And when I went to university, and I changed my ways, and I discovered my parents' culture through music mostly, but not only. And I tried to read a lot about what happened in history and stuff. And then I also decided to open my heart to France, make it my country in my heart, which is very difficult if you were raised in a community that says we and them. So you have to deal with, are you being a traitor? I never was a traitor. I've always been a bridge builder. That's what I want to be, and I hope I will be to my very last breath. My first albums were always in English, and I sang, I don't know, in 7 languages in other projects, even in Hindi, in Senegalese, in I don't know how many languages, but a lot. And then I stopped being someone who sings in a foreign language, and I said, look, now you live in France, you have children here, wife, and family and friends, and who are you talking to? You should talk to people who surround you, who are around you, your friends, your neighborhood, your the country you live in. So this album
end of this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed this conversation and the wonderful music. Please go ahead and save and subscribe this episode, share it with family and friends, and see you next week.